Hello, everyone. To anyone who doesn't know who I am, my name is Aaron. To everyone who already knows me, how are you doing? I wanted to take a quick moment to address what's been going on in my life recently. So, to anyone who's in close proximity within my family, probably already knows what's been going on, and anyone who's like close friends with me or is like on the need to know basis already knows what's been going on, but anyone who doesn't, this is just something to clarify because I know I've been a little off recently, like really like fucking strange acting recently, so I'm here to clarify it. So this is just raw on the open. So, as most of you know already, I was in a relationship for about 3 years with someone. I'm not gonna mention any names because I don't want any incrimination. And as I go on to with the story, I don't want anyone to get involved with that person anymore. I want it to just blow over. But I think everyone who's friends with me deserves a chance to know what happened. So, like I said, as you all know, I was in a relationship for almost 3 years with this person. I moved out with them. Not a very good decision when you're dating for only two-ish years, yeah. So, not a smart decision that I made on my behalf. I knew that I was too young, but I was put in an awkward situation where it was like they said, if I don't really go, it would be like it's kind of over. I was in a weak state of mind, and so the ultimatum that was laid onto me really put me at a low, and I felt like as if I didn't do anything about that I would be just completely devastated because I had no value for myself, and I was in a really bad mental spot. I was very depressed, and I just felt like, if I didn't have what I had with this person at the time, that I wouldn't have anything good going on with my life. Like I said, I was 18 years old and I was super naive. I was in a bad job and all that shit. I didn't have much going on for myself. So time goes on. I'm living with this person. Early on, there's some onset issues, and to be quite frank, this story has a hell of a lot more detail and complexity than I'm going to share right now. But if ever you want to know, you can let me know. But I'll try to shorten it out. So essentially, with my partner at the time, I tried to establish a mutual agreement where I would basically go to work and she would try to take care of the apartment around whatever was to be cleaned or something, or like early on when we moved in she would help set up. And as the time went on, I noticed that this was not really working out. She really had a hard time keeping these promises, and this would delve into some very petty arguments. Like already there was huge mistrust issues out of on her end. Any female friends I had, people that I've been friends with a long time, suddenly became threats because she had an insecurity with herself, even though I assured her many, many times that I only had eyes for her and everything. It's a whole complicated issue, and I would love to delve into it deeper, but I'm trying to keep it somewhat short. So, essentially, just saying that I had got hacked at some point, and it kept. I don't know why it just kept sending me pictures of these people that were friends with me that I was following. It just sent pictures as if they were screenshots or something, or like random fucking videos of things that I had no control over. I tried deleting them. She would go through my phone when I was sleeping and just assume generally that I was the one doing that stuff. So, you know, that's not really important, but it's just something to know that this mistrust was always present since early on. So, with time, we've had a lot of fights, verbal fights that progressed really badly. Up until 2, 3 in the morning, yelling at each other. It just wouldn't work out at all. I was so burnt out. I was working 40 hours, 40 plus hours, working in the kitchens and the bakery, burning myself out, and then coming home and I had to clean whatever I could when I had the energy to, or I had to make dinner and all that stuff because she never would, or if we were lazy, we had to keep buying food, which is not affordable when you have a salary of just about 14 bucks an hour. So anyways, you can imagine how stressful it got. I burnt out. I just became depressed and I had no energy to do anything whatsoever. I had a hard time cleaning myself up. I had a hard time staying in shape. I had a hard time just doing anything at all. So I would just go to work, live a mundane life, come back home and do whatever I had to do. And it was just bitterness and fighting. There was a lot of sweet moments. I can't say that there was never like a time where we weren't happy. There was times when we were happy, but a lot of the negative outweighed the positive. And so eventually with time, we had one of our friends move in with us for a little bit of time, and you know there was always a suspicion between um me and her friend. Apparently she always thought that I had a thing for her, but it's like not at all. First of all, her friend has a different sexual orientation than I do, and it's the same with her. you know we have our own thing, and it's like, even like to put it into simplistic terms, even if I wanted to, I do not have any energy at all to develop such a scheme to want to cheat on this person, because I was just so focused on my like trying to get through everyday activities, and I thought I could change her. But little did I know that in time that I would learn that you can change people that don't want to change, and that's just how it is sometimes, and that's just life. So I have to deal with it. um so essentially, this person was living with us. She ended up getting a cat. Long story short, she's allergic to the cat, can't really take care of it, so I have to stay in the living room after 40 hours a week and all that, just long shifts every day, and I have to take care of this cat just because her friend was allergic. So essentially, it became our cat. It became our responsibility, even though I had no intention. But saying no, I would look like the asshole, right? So, right. Um, After that, time goes on. We've had so many petty arguments. I had one argument where it's like the big argument where it's like she was trying to force me to come back home as fast as possible, knowing that we had zero money. She was in debt with her credit card and all that, and that she just thought that I could just take an Uber and all that, all over a vacuum cleaner that she misexplained, and it seemed like I was mad at her friend, and it came out misconstrued. It seemed like she was saying that her friend was saying she was gonna pay a new vacuum and all that, considering that was given to us by her parents out of good faith. And I was like, that's completely rude. Coming from a background like that, where you have a little more money, you can say to yourself, oh, I'm just gonna buy a new one. It's like, it's not like that. And the vacuum wasn't broken, it was just dirty. It needed to be filtered out. It was one of those industrial shop vacs, so it shoots out dust from the back. Anyways, it just became a whole bitter fight. It was yelling straight off the bat. I told them to leave because I wasn't in a good mood, and I didn't want to say anything that would hurt their feelings. And I said, I'll pay you a meal if you guys please just leave. She was ignoring my texts after that, and she just hung up on me. And I got home and I was just mad, and I made a mistake. I overreacted. I was yelling. I threw a broom. I did not hit her. I want to clarify that I didn't have no intentions of hitting her. I just threw a broom out of pure spite because it was in my way. I was mad, and she got spooked by it. It did not hit her. And so this created a whole tension. 3 weeks go by. Her friend hasn't been working much, and feeding three people at once becomes very difficult. So money wise, we're on a very tight budget, And then I'm told that, you know, that we're having a hard time affording things. And so I have to tell her friend that, you need to kind of responsibilize yourself a bit and try to give us some money because, we can't live off good intention and stuff. And she said, okay, no problem. I'll figure something out. And I said, there's no rush, but it's been almost 3 months you've been living here, and we've only seen like half of what you promised us. Even though there was no technical legal agreement that we made, but there was a verbal promise, and it's someone she's been friends with for a very long time. So out of good faith and good gesture, I put my faith into her and said, I'll give you the benefit of the doubt, but I would like to see some money come in possibly because it would help us out a lot. So a week goes by. I started this new job at a warehouse. It's my second day. I come back home and suddenly, I was in the bathroom. I just went to go get some groceries to make dinner that night, and I get a loud bang at the door. Suddenly, there's three police officers, and they're telling me that I'm being arrested for assault. Little do I know, I have no clue what's going on. My first thought isn't, oh my god, I'm being arrested. Jesus, like they found me. No, it's what happened to my girlfriend at the time. Like, oh my god, like what happened? Did something bad happen and shit? Not the latter. And so I got taken in. I was processed. I was put in a holding cell for about 22 hours. So about 6:30 p.m. to 4 p.m. the next day, which was a Saturday. I was in a holding cell, and then I get told that I have a court date, which is coming up soon, which is why I want to clarify things to anyone who has any interest. And yeah, so I have all that happen to me. I was with a cellmate. These things, you never know who you're stuck with, what it's stuck with. I can't begin to describe how awful the conditions are in these jail cells, just holding cells, just not worth not worth any bit of it. So I was forced to give an address to stay at, otherwise I was going to be spending the next 6 to 7 months in prison until that very court date, due to the nature of the crime that I'm being accused of. Now, I am not going to lie. I have I have had temperament issues and I have lost my temper. But I was under so much pressure and stress that I found that, I had lost control and I had no control over any of the things that I said, or just any of the actions where I was just completely out of it, just yelling and all that. Just I felt depressed, even suicidal. Just I had no control over it, and I don't expect anyone to take any sides. I don't want anyone to take my side because they're friends with me or because it makes more sense or anything. I just want to make it very clear as to what my point of view has been and what's been going on in my life recently. So I recently had to move back into my parents because otherwise, I don't want to be spending it in prison personally. So I've been back home, been trying to get better. Working. I've been working. I've been able to finally see positivity in myself. I've been able to value myself, put myself up here, finally at the top priority instead of everything else. I've been able to try and apply for school to finish my high school, and I've been able to apply for credit cards and all that stuff. I've been able to try and do my best at just attempting to live a normal life. I have had absolutely zero contact with this person or her family or her friend, any of that. I've been just doing my best at living right now, and so I just wanted to clarify anything that anyone had any questions of. And if you have any more questions, please do let me know because I will be glad to answer. And if you have any uncomfortability with being friends with me because of the circumstances that I have just mentioned, I completely understand that, it's not something you want to be associated with or involved with. It's not anyone's problem but mine. So I really just want to make sure that these situations get clarified, at least from my standpoint. You don't have to take mine. Granted, you don't even have to listen to this. But I think it's only fair that it gets known because from what I've heard from mutual friends while we were working in a similar work environment, is that she was kind of trying to defamate my name into what was told to her, because I've been accused of assault by my ex-girlfriend, and her friend accused me of sexual assault, aka rape, when all I asked for her was for her to pay her part of rent. And the truth of the matter is, anytime we've had these big arguments with my girlfriend at the time, I always said, if you don't think this is working out, I can leave. Just tell me, because I never had the heart to leave her, and that's my own fault, even though I should have, because I was in an abusive relationship. And all this message, I want to convey this to all men, mostly men and women, but mostly men right now, that if you're in any kind of abusive relationship, whether it be physical, mentally abusive, just psychologically abusive, just reach out for help. And do not sit there and stand for it or sit for it, or just do not take it. It's not worth anything. No matter how good a person seems to you, no matter how much love there's been in the beginning in the house, do not just settle. Do what's best for you. Care for yourself. Seek the help that you need. If you're in any mental distress, go see a therapist, anything. If you're in an abusive relationship, contact the proper authorities or contact a family member to come and help you, because it isn't worth it. I thank anyone who stayed for the whole time of this explanation. I thought just being able to open up about this shows a lot of strength for me personally. And I hope that everyone has a good day and everything. And I just hope for the best now, because personally, I don't want to end up in a really bad situation. I'm really just trying to straighten out my life. So, yeah.